shows you that we hand delivered that, and we're not getting any mess. So we're just going to go in and see if they will see us now, and make our demands. And our demands are that we want the city of San Francisco to pay and fund testing of the entire shipyard and provide the funding, but we will provide the technicians and the scientists because we don't trust anybody that they engage. We want the city of San Francisco to pay and fund testing of all the people here to see what kinds of health problems we have here in San Francisco, in Hunters Point. We know that there's clusters of cancer, but we want everyone to be tested for asthma, cancer, everything, and we want the city to do that instead of paying for these fake scanners. And thirdly, we want them to halt all development. On June the 26th, they had a board meeting. Malia, Cohen, and London Breed proposed expanding Lennar's property for development and talking about giving them entitlements, which require, that the land be cleaned up. So I want to introduce some of the other people. I don't know, Sister Catherine, do you mind talking to everybody for a minute about what's going on in your life? You're a resident of Hunters Point and you're a teacher at a school in Hunters Point, right? This is Catherine Muhammad.
Catherine Muhammad, C-A-T-H-E-R-I-N-E,
Hi, how are you?
Muhammad, M-U-H-A-M-M-A-D.
Yeah,
I've been recently diagnosed with thyroid cancer, which you get from radiation exposure. And I've been a teacher at MUI for a number of years. Our school sit right next to, I think it's Parcel A. And I'm just here to basically support the demands that we want to make of the supervisor because their silence is deafening. So the fact that they don't even come out and speak with us, that speaks volumes. So that's what we're here to do, is just demand that we have a meeting, demand that that they meet and hear our concerns, and really show us that you represent the community that you say you represent.
That's right.
Historically, the Navy has been responsible for the type of testing because it's still the Navy's property, and the city has been like, we are not accepting this land until the Navy cleans it up, right? Have you followed that, and what is it that you hope the city could do? Because obviously it's right.
I think Mother Elaine pretty much laid out our demands. Yeah. So of course we want it cleaned up. We want people testing for cancer. We want definitely the digging and the building to stop. So, all that information is out there on the internet. You can Google it, and all that stuff is really on the internet. We have documents that basically will answer all your questions.
Tell me how long you've worked in the area. I want to... and you said MUI?
Since my children were little, yes. Muhammad University of Islam, yes. For a number of years.
Excuse me. I also want to introduce, just so you know, my name is Elaine Brown. My claim to fame is the Black Panther Party. So, I want to introduce Danielle Carpenter, whose husband was the first whistleblower because he worked at the shipyard and who died of cancer 2 years ago. And she is our lead plaintiff in our lawsuit, as is Catherine Muhammad. So I want you to tell a little bit about your story.
Do you mind spelling your name? Sure. Danielle Carpenter, D-A-N-I-E-L-L-E. Carpenter, C-A-R-P-E-N-T-E-R. Chris worked on the shipyard for back in 2006. He was diagnosed with stage 4 peripheral T-cell lymphoma, and it started from the outside in. He was there for a while. It was really fast acting, and he passed away 2 years ago after a hard cancer journey.
And did you try to talk to Malia Cohen about that?
Yeah. So 2 years ago, 3 days before my husband's services, there was a city meeting like they have every Tuesday, a board meeting. We attended the board meeting, and London asked me to stay a minute because her and Malia would like to sit and have a chat with me and hug me. So I spoke with Malia. Malia came out, she hugged me, and she said, there's been another whistleblower, that has come forth, and we're going to reinvestigate the case. That was 2 years ago. I have not heard back from London. Or I have not, let me rephrase that, I haven't heard back from Malia Cohen on reopening the case to reinvestigate. As of today, it's really hurting to know that Malia and London are both pushing for the development of the shipyard. And it's like, how could you push for development when London and Chris grew up together? London knew Chris's journey from childhood to adulthood and all through his cancer journey. How could you push for something where our community is hurting How could you want another family to suffer from what I've suffered? My children have suffered. My grandchildren have suffered, losing their dad, their grandfather. Why would you want to take soil samples and scan them versus sending them through a third party that we've all approved?
That's right.
To make sure that the samples are safe and that no other family on that development goes through the pain and the hurt that I've been through, that I'm still going through. It moves me, and it hurts, because it's like they're human. They go home to their husbands. They go home to their family. I don't have that luxury anymore. So how could you possibly push for development when we still have issues on the shipyard?
How long did your husband work there?
He worked there 2 years.
I
He was actually a laborer, so he was digging directly with the soil. And during the incident that led to him becoming a whistleblower, he had asked the superintendent to water down the soil to keep the dust from flying up. The supervisor was adamant about it and didn't want to water down the soil. Chris noticed that the monitors weren't working. He immediately left from the schoolyard because he's a compassionate person, especially about children. He left from the schoolyard, went up to the school, and told the kids, the principal at the school, to get the kids off the schoolyard because the monitors had been turned off and that there was no notification being given. So he, at that point, decided that he couldn't go back. There was no way that he would go back because this company was not taking into accountability safety for him or any other workers.
Was he working for Tetra Tech?
He was working for another company that was hired from Tetra Tech to do a subcontractor to do the development of the land.
I want to introduce you also to Ms. Unina.
Danielle Carpenter. DANIELLECARPENTER.
And your husband?
Christopher Carpenter. Thank you.
I just want to introduce another woman who is herself experiencing a difficult time now because of the soil and whatever's in the water and whatever else, because we don't know. So just speak your name and tell her what you say.
Okay. Unina Graham, YUNINAGRAHAM. So I'm a lifelong resident of Bayview. And in 2011, I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma. Just came out of the blue, and when the doctors checked, they said my body was full of the myeloma proteins. And I've been on treatment. Myeloma has no cure, so I've been on treatment since 2011, and that consists of 2 different chemos once a week.
And do you attribute that to the radiated land and the contamination at the shipyard?
Well, my understanding is there is no known place that multiple myeloma comes from, but doctors and researchers do attribute part of it. They said that the environment is a definite contributor to the disease.
And what is your interaction with the city, with either Malia Cohen or others, been so far about that?
But my personal and directly, I don't have any.
What are you going to ask them
But
today?
you did say 2 years ago.
Today I want the same thing that everybody else wants. I want them to pay for the testing and allow us to choose who does the testing. Because I don't think that they have a good overview. When people are doing the work, they're not even checking the work. And that's obvious by the lack of work that was done in 2004.
I also want to just say, Tetra Tech has not shown any kind of empathy. No. Their response is completely oblivious to, oh, that's not us, we didn't do it. They show no empathy at all, which is not right. At least take accountability, especially since your employees falsified the documents.
And when
if I walked into Safeway and slipped and fell in their store, Safeway is responsible for me for going to the doctor and my medical bills. Your employee was responsible for my husband's death and for the sickness of the community. You need to be held accountable. Show some empathy.
That's why we're suing them. Do you want to say something? Because you have a problem with asthma, right?
I do. Just sorry. We've been asking everyone to start by saying and spelling your name, please.
Of
Her name
course.
you need to have
My
spelled.
name is Alamelu Rao, and
Spell it.
it's ALAMELURAO.
Your last name is R-A-O.
Yes,
Thank you.
that's correct. Thank you.
And what brings
Um,
you here?
Actually, I am here because I am fearful of my life and my child's life. It's not only us, there are 40,000 people who live there. It's a community. And when I moved in to Bayview in 2013, I wouldn't say I was in the best of health, but I was never this much sick because I have asthma. It's very acute. It's very um, painful because the doctors say I have a medical background. I come from medical school, and it's one attack a year. Asthma attack a year is one too many. But I had been hospitalized 4 times this year, and 3 times at least in emergency room. And my child developed asthma as well. And every day, for example, today I got up and I couldn't walk. So we don't know what we have. So we have some demands. And us, rightfully, that we just want to talk to our supervisors and the people who we voted to represent us, just to hear us, so that we can assure our children are safe and that they are taken care of rightfully what they have wronged us. And since they're, especially the Tetra Tech's CEO and the CFO is right now in prison, that they told us, yes, we did do that. We falsified the documents.
Yeah.
So what we do not understand is what Ms. Malia Cohen and London Breed is up to, because we have our reservations, we have our doubts, because they may be working, behind the scene, whatever. So we just here today to meet them, talk to them, and we are very decent people. We are parents, we are mothers, wives, and grandmothers, and who are genuinely worried about our health and our children's well-being.
That's good. Anybody else want to say something? Want to say something? Okay, well, if you have some more questions, we're here, and then we're going to go upstairs if you'd like to come with us.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. This is what we gave to both the mayor and the president of the
Sarah.
board.
How old?
And
She
this is what
19 now.
our
She was
little press statement is for today. Thank you. So if you have some questions.
Hey, may I also have a copy?
Oh, absolutely. You're what? Nice to talk with you. That's what we handed them last month. And this is our statement for today, sort of summarizing where we're coming from and what we want to accomplish today, which is just to have a meeting or get an appointment for a meeting.
Well, thanks for letting us come with you.
All right, well, let's, you want to head out now, everybody, or?